So this hand does 3, 5, 9 to itself, theoretically. Although it looks like they're playing Grishoalbrand. Which, I just concede this matchup from the other side. Most people have a lower concede threshold than I do, though. I'm gonna take their cantrip here for the time being. Next turn is probably gonna be Fetch, Shock, Watery Grave, Lightning Bolt myself, play Death Shadow. What's going on, Jekyll Girl? We've been doing all right. We, what do we 4-0'd with Spirits. We 2-3'd with Grishoalbrand, and then we 3-2'd with Jund deck before this. Next turn, I can play second Death Shadow, dismember one of my Death Shadows, and then kill them with Temur Battle Rage the following turn. So they're dead. They're dead in 2. They're gonna die on our 4th turn. And this is one of the reasons why people ask me about this deck all the time. I think this deck's a great choice in Modern. I think it's got just plenty of busted Modern draws like that. We played the first match of a league off street or on stream, and I might have tilted off the face of the planet with people yelling bad advice at me, and then given up and gone and played Magic Arena to play Standard. Yeah, counter spells and discard spells are not your friend with the amulet deck. Alright, so they're dead. Oh, that's true. That's a good thing to point out. Yeah, I could have gotten in 4 more points damage. Yeah, and they have Nourishing Shoal, right? So that is super relevant. I appreciate you pointing that out. I was thinking it didn't matter because like I was gonna shrink the same one that was attacking, but you're right. I could have dismembered one that wasn't attacking. I think we're gonna be like 1 point short here, right? They're going to 28, and we're putting them to. So like if they threw the breach me next turn, I die. Yeah, so I missed. So they should have died there on my turn 4, even with the... They should have died on my turn 4 after gaining 11 life. Think about that. Let that sink in. Welcome to Modern. Enjoy your stay. This is one of Modern's fair decks. Just like, should have killed them on turn 4 through a gain 11. Welcome to Thunderdome. Enjoy your stay. This format. Oh, Modern. I think Rakdos Charm's not good enough here. Liliana the Veiled chewing away at their hand seems fine. Yeah, the fair decks to keep up. Exactly. There aren't any other cards in here that I want to cut, right? I don't think so. Seems good. I think Rakdos Charm is too much mana to hold up. I'm not sure. It might be better than... It might be better than my, what's it called? My second Lightning Bolt. And yeah, Prime subs can access sub Discord same way as everybody else. Prime subs on my end are identical to tier 1 subs in every way. So there's nothing that tier 1 subs get that Prime subs do not. This deck is so dumb. In a good way. This deck is dumb in a good way. Savits with the awesome raid. I appreciate the support. I don't know how many of y'all are going to hang out this evening. I'm spending the night playing Modern on Magic Online. So this is the legacy Magic application that has all of Magic's older sets in it. So the appeal of playing on this application, while it is not pretty, is that it allows us to play with cards from Magic's heritage. So if you're familiar with Hearthstone, Modern is similar to their Wild format. It's a non-rotating format that just gets bigger as more cards are introduced. And it tends to be a more powerful, obnoxious format where games tend to be very brutal and fast because the format is very quick, where there's a lot of powerful cards in it. Unfortunately, this application also does not have an interactive Twitch overlay. So people who are not familiar with all these cards by name and stuff like that, it's hard to know exactly what's going on. I was actually just thinking, what do I name with the ego? I actually might not be egoing until... Yeah, I think I'm actually not egoing this turn. I'm just like holding up the Stubborn Denial as a counterspell. Because if I tap out for ego, they could like... If I tap out for ego and like name Grishoalbrand, they could through the breach a Worldspine Worm and kill me if I don't have a counterspell up here. So I think I just go ahead and like smack them for 8, because again, just like, this is turn 3. So I just like have them dead on turn 4, 2 games in a row. Yeah, and like if I name Goryo's, they could still through the breach a Worldspine Worm and kill me. Whereas like next turn, the only thing I lose to is double Goryo's Vengeance. So I can Stubborn Denial the first Goryo's Vengeance here. I guess I also lose to Goryo's Pact of Negation. So like there's ups and downs to both sides here. Yes, life is very much a resource with this deck. Yeah, the looting flashback should mean they're dead here unless they have a Pact of Negation along with their Goryo's Vengeance. So we have them dead on board, and this is a counter spell. We have a creature with power 4 or greater, which we have 2 of. This is just a hard counter. So hopefully people watching this game that have seen me concede this matchup from the Grishoalbrand side often have a greater understanding now of why I never play it. So I assume that they have a Nourishing Shoal here, and that's why they haven't conceded. Nourishing Shoal is a free spell that lets them gain a large amount of life. Lava Axe. I can actually let this resolve, right, and still kill them, because Shock makes this a 10-10, and then Thoughtseize makes this a 12-12. So I'm just going to let this happen, so this way I can Stubborn Denial and Nourishing Shoal. Yeah, look at that. Play well, get rewarded. So counter your Nourishing Shoal, take your last card, hit you for exactly lethal. Just killed you on turn 4 through your gain 11, 2 games in a row. Nice deck. Just get him. Yeah, Modern's a very fast and brutal format. Games in Modern that last past turn 6 are generally the exception and not the rule. Most games of Modern end somewhere on between turns 3 and 5. I don't think the Grixis Living End deck is very consistent or powerful. I think it's doing something that's kind of neat, but the consistency there is just not great. It's much less consistent than something like Elves. There's a Creeping Tar Pit in this deck. That's weird and probably wrong. This hand's like not as aggressive as some of the other hands we've kept. We have a lightning bolt as a piece of interaction here, and we have like a cantrip to like move through our deck a little bit and draw some new cards. So I think this is fine. Yes, Sess. Obviously it's Magic, so like no matchup is completely unwinnable, but the Shadow versus Grishoalbrand matchup is like pretty bad. So it's really important that I lead on the Scalding Tarn here as opposed to the Watery Grave, because this will hit me for 3 and this will hit me for 3, which puts me to 12, which means I can cast this because my health total needs to be less than 13 for Death Shadow to live. Spirebluff Canal could be Storm. Hopefully it's Storm. This archetype is very, very good against spell-based combo decks like Grishoalbrand and Storm. So Magic hides most of their data, so I don't have cold hard data to back up what I'm about to say, but I'm firmly a believer that the only reason blue-white control puts up any amount of finishes in Modern is because way too many people play it. So I could play the Gurmag Angler here, but I'm actually going to play the Death Shadow instead, and the reason for that is if my opponent's playing Storm, they likely have 3 to 4 copies of Remand and Unsubstantiate in their deck, and I'd much rather they unsubstantiate this than unsubstantiate my Delve creature. This is attacking for a little bit less next turn, but it's not attacking for that much less because I get to Fetch Shock again and attack as a 4/4, whereas this would only be a 5/5. Looks like Storm. Create a deck around specific cards again. For Magic Online, it's $50. For Standard on Magic Arena, it's $25. This is the 8th card in my bin. I actually like this deck a lot. This is a deck that I would consider playing at a tournament. This deck has a lot of interaction in it that I think generates interesting decision trees on average. I'm like, I could hold up Snap Bolt here. Am I supposed to hold up Snap Bolt? Or am I supposed to put a Gurmag Angler into play? If I put Gurmag Angler into play, I'm attacking for 11 next turn, which puts them to 5, so they're still not dead. I think I just pass here, because if they don't give me a creature to Snap Bolt next turn, I can just Snap Thought Scour and like draw a card that way. Like dig to some disruption. Because like I'm not quite racing them at the moment, so I'm looking for like Stubborn Denials and discard spells here. Bolt's interaction technically. I can actually cast Gurmag Angler twice here if I want. So hopefully this Lightning Bolt is enough for me to not end up dead here. Go. Yeah, occasionally people send me money to play good decks. It's wild. So what's the storm count here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I bolt this, I'm gonna die to I might die to a natural grape shot here, which would suck. Yeah, we had a giant raid from Savitz. Who? Some of them are hanging out while we play Magic the Spreadsheeting, but I assume most of those will bleed off because it can be tough to watch Magic Online after watching Magic Arena, and Modern's not super accessible unless you're familiar with it. I'm doing pretty well, Cohen. Working through some of the backlog of Modern decks in my queue. Are we not dead? Or is this just like them getting storm count for their grape shot? If they have grape shot, we're dead here. We're 1 point short of lethal on board, so they are going to get another turn next turn, which sucks for us. How old is Magic Online? Over 15 years old. I believe it's 2003. They definitely had a 15-year anniversary. Sweet, that's lethal. Better lucky than good, chat. A little bit of both doesn't hurt, but definitely better lucky than good. I'll get to discard and deal some damage here. And the game, like I said, this matchup's pretty good for us. It's not unlosable by any means. Like, they definitely have some percentage points, but we are definitely ahead here. The UI has that's actually not true. So people like to talk about Magic Online like the UI hasn't changed. You should go look at some screenshots of Magic Online like V2 and V3. There are a lot of improvements that have happened in this application. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think the Tar Pit's a good idea in this deck. I'm not a huge fan of that. Seems kind of silly. Yes, and this is a huge upgrade compared to what Magic Online used to be. So, do I want these Fatal Pushes in my deck? Do I want Liliana the Veil? I think I don't want the Fatal Pushes. This leaves me at 60. Rakdos Charm probably isn't good enough. Let's bring in one Liliana. Let's try this. We want Dismember over Push because Dismember helps us get our Death Shadows into play much, much faster. Someone asked, do I think WotC's new standard plus format will be embraced in paper? It depends on how much they want to support it. If WotC wants their new standard plus format to be embraced in paper, it definitely will be. If there's, you know, Pro Tours and Magic Fests and all that are that new format, it will definitely be something that people are interested in. I think I just take the opt here. I have this Dismember and this Liliana to like check the morale. I think there's a lot of different starting points they could have. I think it's pretty likely to be Ixalan, but there's a lot of different directions they could go for sure. Honestly, as someone who really loves all of the animations in Arena, the biggest upgrade Arena has compared to Magic Online is the auto tapper is such a huge quality of life improvement. It's so big. 2002, 16 years, yep. Sounds about right. Think of Chandra Torch Defiance over Ral. I prefer Ral. I think being able to kill things like Tarmogoyf's a big deal with Ral. Yeah, anybody who thinks this UI is bad really needs to go look at the old what Magic Online looked like once upon a time. So I can't delve this out and keep up double stub, so I'm gonna go ahead and scour and leave up single stub. My eyes are bleeding. Yeah. Definitely the auto tapper. I definitely would love Magic Online's auto yield system implemented in Magic Arena, but the auto tapper definitely saves more time, hands down. Do I stub this? I don't think so. I think I stub their ritual. There's a good chance that depending on what their hand looks like here, they get to empty us regardless this turn, but hopefully the stub prevents them from emptying us. Then Liliana comes down and edicts away their Burrell. So I'm hoping their hand right now is empty plus a ritual plus Past in Flames, and they cast ritual, we stub that, and they're left with just Past in Flames and empty. What's going on, Pimpin? Welcome to a live one. Land. Land. Ding, ding, ding. Land is great because it lets me play this Liliana the Veil to edict them off the Burrell while still holding up the Stubborn Denial. The land drop there probably means the game is over. Oh, you know what? I should discard the stub and not the snap, right? Because the snap is basically another stub with a 2-1. Maybe I should even discard this. I have some honey wheat pretzel twists that I'm dipping in peanut butter. Well, that's a really easy 2-0-4-0. Like I said, this deck kind of eats up the spell-based combo decks. We've run into 2 spell-based combo decks in a row. It's like running good in the matchup lottery tonight. That hand's not very good, but here we are. Yeah, we're 2-0 in 23 minutes. The Jund deck was okay. Nothing amazing, but fine. I might be able to steal game 1 here on the back of Death Shadow. Double Shadow. I am just eating Jif creamy peanut butter. It's the strictly best peanut butter out there. Fight me. And by fight me, I mean I'm willing to time people out who want to disagree. All right. Cast Matutus. We probably can't race a Core Spirit Dancer here. Really wanted to draw a removal spell for this. This gets bigger with every aura they slide onto it, and whenever they cast an aura, they draw a spell, they draw a card. So, post board, we get to bring in Liliana the Veil and Anger of the Gods, and like maybe have a shot here in addition to racing and Stubborn Denial. But this match is probably pretty bad for us, especially with the Spirit Mantle that I can't block now. Well, I get to dismember this now. Question is, how much do I want to dismember it for? Do I want to pay life here? I think I want to pay 2. I think I want to pay 2. I want to draw a Temur Battle Rage next turn, ideally. I have Daybreak. I always have Daybreak. Alright, so dead to another path here, but Lark dead to another path anyways. Go. All right. How do people keep saying things are lethal, chat? They have blockers here. Why do people keep telling me things are lethal? Do we not understand that they have that these have hexproof and can block? Stop it. Stop it. This is a lethal bolt for one of the players playing this game currently. That's true. I mean, there's nothing wrong with not knowing what the cards do. I don't fault people for not knowing every card, especially in a format like Modern. What I do fault people for is people shouting out terrible advice when they don't know what the cards do. It's okay to not know, but it's also encouraged to just shut your mouth. If you don't know, look up the cards or be like, I'm not sure, is this possible, instead of being like, or put a question mark. Yes, is this how this works? I'm not sure what that card text is. Maybe it does this for us. I'm gonna bring in a surgical extraction just to appease Twitch chat. If we like discard a Bogle and surgical it, that's fine. This could randomly pump our Death Shadow inside of combat by paying for Extant life. This matchup's probably not good for us on average. I don't think it's unwinnable. Like, it's not like, I don't know, Death Shadow versus Grishoalbrand unwinnable, but we're probably at least like 60-40 dog, if not worse here. We could surgical a Rancor in theory. Yeah, that's true too. This hand's like not disruptive, but like it like puts a bunch of threats into play pretty quickly, which is not bad for us. What's the reason behind having surgical and Unmoored Ego on the sideboard? Well, they're good against different things. So Unmoored Ego is really good against is reasonable against things like Tron and Valakut, whereas surgical extraction is a piece of graveyard hate. Like, obviously, they both take cards out of the opponent's deck, but, like, one of those cards, Surgical Extraction, takes a lot more work to do that. There's setup involved. All right, I think I'm just going to get a Thoughtseize here. Grishoalbrand almost never beats Death Shadow. I think Engineered Explosives is good against spirits? No. Their deck has a lot of varying casting costs. They tend to have access to Selfless Spirit, and spending 5 mana to trade with their 3 mana thing is generally not worthwhile. Why not just a third Death Shadow there? Because I would like to stop them from having like a protection from creatures enchantment or some other powerful thing. If they go like Rancor plus, they have the Spirit Mantle already. That's unfortunate. Maybe I should have gotten Inquisition here rather than Thoughtseize that hurts me. It's possible I should have gotten Inquisition. All right, they have another Spirit Mantle. They only have 1 Daybreak Coronet though. All right. If I get 2 8/8s going here, if they want to hit me with this, that could be pretty reasonable for us. They've also done like a lot of damage to themselves so far. They might just turtle up here. They might just go like Glade Cover, slide Spirit Mantle onto it, leave both back until they can attack for lethal in 1 swing. Alpine Moon's a fine card. There's nothing wrong with Alpine Moon. All right, so I can't do anything else currently. I can't Thoughtseize, so I'll just like die to these things attacking me. I can't pay any more health. I need to hold this Countersquall up, I think. Anger would not be good. I guess I should have fetched better. I should have thought about Anger while I was fetching and gotten another red source. Definitely wasn't fetching with Anger in mind. I think we're probably gonna lose this game. They have another Bogle in their hand. So, like, they can just play a Bogle out as another blocker and then, like, attack me for 2. That's lethal as well. Good game, opponent. Oh, did I draw these naturally? I don't actually remember how I fetched. If I fetched a red source, then I didn't do anything wrong. That's just like the story of Magic sometimes, right? You just lose games without doing anything wrong. It's possible I was too aggressive by health total that game. I probably was supposed to Mausoleum Secrets for an Inquisition rather than the Thoughtseize, because like they're functionally the same card. My opponent's deck doesn't have anything that costs more than 3, and I just didn't want to take the extra damage. I mean, like, our deck's got unfair elements to it, right? Like, game 1 especially, we had turns where, like, Temur Battle Rage was going to be lethal, and we just didn't draw it. It's like our combo just didn't come together, basically. Double Secrets is really clunky here. No way to get to our second land. No quick way to get Shadow into play. That seems like not amazing, but it's definitely a keep. I think I bottomed that. I think I'd like to try and find a discard spell. We haven't really cast Mausoleum Secrets yet. We've played 3 matches with decks. This is the beginning of our 4th match, and we 2-0'd the first 2, and they were fast combo decks. Mausoleum Secrets is better in like matches that are grindy, and this is modern, so we've been playing it's just like mono gets you decks. I'm gonna fetch Steam Vents here, and Lightning Bolt this. And then probably Mausoleum Secrets for Thoughtseize next turn. Not having double black's a little bit awkward. Could potentially bite us. Do I normally stream on Saturday? I normally do a weekend stream at some point. However, I don't really have a set schedule for them. So I stream Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 during the week. And then I stream at some point on the weekend as my schedule permits. We do different things with the family over the weekend usually. So sometimes I stream in the morning and sometimes I stream in the evening, depending on what the wife and I have planned with the kids. This is a Thoughtseize moment. Yeah, we're probably gonna get Stone Rained out of this game. Is there any reason we're casting Secrets as a sorcery? Because I forgot it was an instant. We're not dishonest here when we make mistakes. All right, here's hoping they only have one impactful spell in their hand. I mean, that's like kind of one impactful spell. I guess they take the Blood Moon and then the hope to draw a fetch land or a way to deal with this this Tireless Tracker. Kind of getting punished for choosing to Lightning Bolt instead of Fatal Push the Elf, but it set my mana up a little bit better. It's possible I should have just like gotten Blood Crypt. Fetch land is just like one of their best possible draws there. Just like lets them draw 2 clues with this Tracker. Yeah, Tracker's gonna bury us in the ground with this fetch land draw for sure. We have to draw a way to kill this turn, most likely. Any land will do, because we can Snap Bolt it. But ideally, we'd like to draw a fetch land so we can push it plus play Death Shadow. That's Magic the Gathering in a nutshell, right? Anger of the Gods is fine here. You can cast it while under Blood Moon, which is nice. Secrets is probably a little bit slow. Definitely want Stubborn Denial. Probably want Countersquall. Kolaghan's Command's a little slow. I'm gonna trim the second Liliana the Last Hope. Let's do it. Is Grim Boy good enough? Maybe Grim Boy is good enough. It's like fine, like nothing to write home about. They don't have that many tiny creatures, but they do have some. Thanks everybody who hung out and stuck around from Savit's stream, by the way. Checking out some modern Magic the Gathering here on Magic Online. And a good chunk of folks hang out, it looks like. If you enjoy my content, whether it's modern, I also stream standard on Magic Arena about 25-30 hours a week during the week usually, Monday through Friday. Sure to give the channel a follow. Drop on in again sometime. I think it's fine. Not amazing, but fine. It's actually pretty good. It needs a way to deal a little bit more damage to itself so we get the Shadow into play, but like push, stub, plus snap to rebuy these things seems pretty reasonable. I can like soft stub Utopia Sprawl here in one, and I can Fatal Push a Mana Dork, both of which are good for us. But I assume you only take out Battle Rage versus removal heavy decks. I don't even think you cut all of them against removal heavy decks. I think you should always leave in at least one for the Getcha factor. Temur, I view Temur Battle Rage in an archetype like this kind of as like your get out of jail free card. It's like a card that like jumps up and steal games that you have no business winning because you just like drew Temur Battle Rage and killed them when you were really far behind. Like, as someone who's played against... I haven't played this archetype a ton personally. This is a viewer-submitted deck list like most of the ones that we play on this stream. But as someone who's played against this deck a lot, you just can't tell you the number of times you're in a position where you're like, well, I win this game unless they have Temur Battle Rage, and then like, they have Battle Rage, and you die. It's like kind of how it goes. So I can't play this yet. Do I snap push this? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna pass here. Even if they have a Blood Moon, I can like double soft stub it. Doesn't feel good, but it's like a play that's fine. Rebel Master, sure. That Birds of Paradise is foil. Isn't the beautiful foil animation on Magic Online wonderful? Do you feel the value of that premium digital Magic card? Oh, Death Shadow, you not awkward at all. You're not awkward at all. Narrator, it was incredibly awkward. Okie doke. Why can't Snapcaster Mage turn itself on us? Please. Well, same. We should just call this deck like Game 3 is for losers, because we're just like 2-2 and we haven't played a Game 3 yet. You know, the old 4 matches in, 42 minutes counting on the league. Onward, upward, backward, forward. We got one more deck to play after this one night. We're gonna close up with some Mono Red Steamkin and Modern. I wonder how foils will be handled in Arena. I hope they never have foils in Arena. I think if they want premium cards in Arena, they should do like what Hex, TCG, and Hearthstone have done, which is have animated cards for a premium card. Just like have the card have some kind of subtle animation on the table. Does Shadow usually on Remand? No. The disruption that Shadow plays is Stubborn Denial and then 1 mana discard spells. 2 mana is a lot of mana. Yeah, it was one of the things Hex TCG did really well. They had just like very subtly animated cards, which like looked really slick. Hex did not have a mobile client. They were desktop only. Their application was much too heavy to be on the mobile. It took like their desktop client took like 2.5 gigs of RAM when it booted up. It was very beefy. Yeah, full art cards are another way to do premium, but full art's different than something like foil or animated. Like we have both foil and full art cards in paper. Buy some foil, Death Shadow, Dorky Dad Media. Thank you for the biddies, I appreciate it. What you working with? Put up Mulligan to 6. All right, deck's busted. Dear Watsy, please nerf Inquisition. So, conceded to turn 1 Inquisition. I think I'm gonna board in the Stubborn Denial. I think I'm gonna board like they're likely a combo deck. I'm not gonna go all in, but I'm gonna like cut these cards that are only good against fair. And board in these 3 cards that are pretty good against combo. I'm gonna leave my removal and stuff in too. I'm gonna try my Fatal Push and bring in one more Last Hope. Just like small hedge that they're on combo. I'm not gonna bring in Surgical. I'm not bringing in Surgical in the dark, but small hedges I think are fine. Let's stand up for a bit. I've been sitting for a while. I think this is fine. It's like 6 okay cards and like a Street Wraith that could be anything. Yeah, the camera is attached to my desk, and my whole desk moves up when I stand up. Yeah, Hex just had a lot of really small mistakes that they ended up making. Wow, they're playing a fair deck. Okay, that's really interesting. Take your Kali Toss. I should take the Obstinate Baloth, right? Hex just had some Hex had a lot of similar issues to what Artifact had, which is that their game just like wasn't super accessible. But they didn't have infinite Valve money. They were a small studio. I don't know why they would concede game 1 if they were on a fair deck. Does seem like a weird choice. Wait, what? Actually, I'm supposed to Stubborn Denial this, so this should have been a blue source, because I need to hold this Countersquall to counter Liliana the Last Hope. So that was a misfetch on my part. I should be Thought Scouring right now. I was looking through the standard list, and I was surprised you haven't played any Alendra the Dusk Rose. That card looks sweet with the next set. I mean, I just play what people pay me to play Grixis. So if I haven't played something, I haven't spent a ton of time brewing in standard. Most of my brewing was done around like tuning, what's it called? Tuning pirates, because that was the deck I got infatuated with. All right, so they have Abrupt Decay, Land, Obstinate Bailoff. So they'll play this. They'll play a 4/4. Really? Huh. What on God's green earth is their deck doing? Okay, I'm kind of understanding more why they conceded. Is it like Jund Ponza? Like what is going on? They have the sweet Birds of Paradise art though. This is my favorite pop. Got a few of these. These are the paper birds that I own. They're just like super scared of Liliana the Veil. We're gonna fetch Shocklands tapped at this point. My Birds of Paradise have altered black borders. Their borders are painted black. They look really good. This is the 7th edition art. So this and oh, is it? I think 7th edition and 8th are the same, right? I'm pretty sure 7th and 8th are the same. I'm not bolting this bird because I want to be able to. Well, I was gonna say I want to be able to block plus bolt their thing. So our last card was Obstinate Bailoff here, which I assume they're casting this turn. Rude. Yes, Russian is black bordered for 8th edition, and foil are black bordered for 8th edition. I too like to live dangerously. Going big fishing, do 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 do. No, I need something better than a 3/4. They have an Obstinate Bailoff as their last card in hand, so I need a card that beats Obstinate Bailoff. So I think cycling there is correct. Like, obviously I'm dead to Lightning Bolt now, but I'm gonna go ahead and fetch an island here because 2 and 3 should pretty much be the same thing except for Kolaghan's command. I'd rather not draw the last land that this can fetch out of my deck. Oh, did I? Yep, that totally just happened. I must have Thought Scoured the island. Totally Thought Scoured the island. Whoopsie poopsie. Mistakes were made. All right, I'm giving him a handicap, chat. Give him the free point. Please draw cards I can counter with negates. God bless us, everyone. Yeah, make him a future shadows bigger, exactly. Oh, jeez. There's a Dismember in my graveyard, and I can't snap Dismember the Bailoff with the health I'm at right now. It's a big deal. All right, I'm going to attack for 5 here because I can Snapcaster target Lightning Bolt, block the Bailoff, Lightning Bolt the Bailoff. And I need to just pressure them before they draw more creatures that I can't Stubborn Denial. Okay, so they got kind of a free one, I got kind of a free one. Let's take game 3 on the play. Fatal Push and Grim Lavamancer seem good here. Last Hope and Kolaghan's command maybe. Matrima Temur Battle Raid of definitely cutting the Countersquall. I don't know exactly what they're doing. Maybe these are bad if they're They're gonna have what's it called in their deck? Obstinate Baloth. You know, it's actually pretty close to sideboarded to how I want to be sideboarded. Veil seems pretty bad if they're on Baloth and Mana Dorks. The Mausoleum Secrets really haven't come up. We've cast them 2 or 3 times, and they've found just extra discard spells every time. I think that's just like what you expect it to be, right? Like, anybody expect this to be like game changing, change the archetype drastically? It's just like not what it's gonna do, right? It's gonna like add a little bit of consistency to what we have going on. No, you don't bring an Unmoored Ego against a fair deck. Come on now. Get out of here. Stop it, Twitch chat. Jojo, thank you for the 6-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. MTGO desperately needs an online overlay so people can mouse over card images. Desperately. Are they on Blood Moon? I have no idea. So for people that are new, instead of railing me with your thousands of questions about why I'm not bringing a card in, instead, if you think a card should be brought into my deck during sideboarding, please make a reasonable and consistent argument for why we should play it. So for instance, if you want me to bring in Kolaghan's Command, say, why don't we bring in Kolaghan's Command? I think it's better than this other card that's currently in your main deck right now, and this is why it's better. So make a discussion. Don't just make me sit here and shoot your ideas down as bad, because maybe your ideas are good and I just don't see it in the same way you do. But if I just sit here and shoot down every random idea, I'm just going to be shooting down random ideas all night rather than generating discussions and having meaningful conversations. There's a deck list on your screen via the Stream Decker widget. Alternatively, you can also type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. This is just a random viewer submitted deck list. It's not that far off of most of these stock Grixis Shadow decks. This is one of the, 50 archetypes in Modern that just like shows up in tournaments on occasion. What do we got? If they have a Mana Dork, I'll probably Thought Scour myself and then Grim Lavamancer it down. Try and keep them off their 3-mana spell on 2. They showed a Stone Rains last game, which would be kind of annoying since we have our 1 3-mana spell in our hand. Nihil Spellbomb. Okay, yep. Alright, so open it a 3rd land next turn. Thought Scour hopefully going to help with that. Maybe I'm supposed to actually just leave. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to actually just leave the Grim Lavamancer up. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to just leave the Lava Man up. Although I guess if I hit a land, the Last Hope takes care of this. Ding, ding, ding. They might Nihil Spellbomb me in response here, so my graveyard doesn't have cards for the Grim Lavamancer to eat this with. So I wouldn't be too surprised to like Fetch Shock, Spellbomb, clear my graveyard here. And then hopefully this Last Hope will just like put them infinitely far behind. They're going down to 13 if they Fetch Shock here. Then the Lavamancer's attacking them to 12. Then it can start burning them out, especially in conjunction with this Lightning Bolt. Yeah, Thought Scour's art is kind of trippy. Just like lobotomizing this dude. Think it's more important to Last Hope them here than Thoughtseize. This does give them a chance to play a Last Hope of their own out next turn, which could maybe be bad, although I guess our Last Hope ults before theirs does. This also doesn't I could potentially be like clearing out like an Abrupt Decay or an Assassin's Trophy. I feel like there's a good chance this just dies this turn. Is it crazy to downtick her? Because I think if they have an Abrupt Decay here and they're going to kill her in response to the Thoughtseize, I think that's actually what I'm going to do here. Like I could brick off there and like not hit a creature to get back, but I think there's a good chance she just like dies in response to this Thoughtseize, so I want to take the gamble. Or their hand could just be mono clunky nonsense. Got it. They're playing like Jund Ponza stuff. Do I just take Titan? Titan's the card I can't beat, right? Take the card you can't beat. Best piece of advice you'll get with Thoughtseize: take the cards you can't beat. They won't get to Titan, maybe, but like I kind of don't mind if they play Tireless Tracker next turn, right? It like gives me a Dismember target, so I kill them. Like if they play Tireless Tracker next turn, actually I think they're dead regardless of what they play, right? Because I can Dismember my own Shadow at end step, untap, like bolt them and stuff. Yeah, I believe they're dead here. Again, this is why I really like this archetype. This is a deck that has a lot of the elements that fair decks can have in Modern, but it also has lots of just like, oopsie poopsie, you died. Yeah, it's like, they're almost dead on board, right? It's like shoot you and then do 8. They're not quite dead on board, but it's pretty close. Like I just have almost anything and they die. We didn't really get to play matches of Magic where Mausoleum Secrets was relevant. We actually played against a lot of good matchups for this deck, and I think Mausoleum Secrets is a card that could really aim to help some of the bad matchups this archetype can have. And in my experience playing a little bit of this deck, the harder matchups are like blue-white control and Jund and things of that nature that have a lot of interaction and 1-for-1 removal spells, and Mausoleum Secrets basically just gives us threat redundancy by getting more copies of Death Shadow, while also having a little bit of flexibility to grab cards like Thoughtseize, Last Hope, K-Command, and even Surgical Attraction out of the sideboard on occasion. I think this archetype's very reasonable. This list felt pretty solid overall. One consideration I may or may not have for this specific list is I think these extra Kolaghan's commands in the sideboard might be a little bit greedy, and I might want a Braids in that slot instead. I like one Kolaghan's command in the 75 because you can only get black cards with this to search for, but I think if I wanted more anti-artifact cards in my sideboard, I'd want them to be a Braid, so that way I have more efficient removal against things like humans and stuff of that nature. All right, we got one more Modern deck before we wrap up for the evening. This one, if you're one of the standard viewers coming over from Savit's stream and hanging out, this deck's actually got a number of standard cards in it. We've got Runaway Steamkin and Arclight Phoenix here. I'm gonna be dipping into the Modern format with those. The old 19 basic Mountain Dot deck.